Hello.
Hello, good morning. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Hi.
Ooh, now I have your photo in the front of your face. Ooh, okay, here we are. Andrea, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I unmuted you. Who's the other person I have to unmute?
Jeanette.
Okay, Jeanette.
Just a second, because I have to put the right sound here.
So Jeanette should be unmuted too.
I should be where?
Oh.
Pronto.
Oh, that's a weird sound, Jeanette.
Jeanette, you have to check with the audio settings in preferences.
Because I have either my computer and either my telephone on.
Yeah, you have to mute your telephone then. Otherwise, it sounds really kind of older.
No, it's mute.
Which of the two microphones are you using? The one on Zoom or the one on the phone?
The one on the Zoom, but I would prefer on the phone because I have my how do you hear me? Do you hear me well?
No, actually at Halas it's like echo, really bad echo.
Okay, so what should I do?
So basically, if you mute your telephone, you can speak in your computer.
I muted the telephone.
You have muted the mic? Basically, you've got two microphones unmuted. So one of the two should be. Meanwhile, Isabel, can I ask you to open the microphone of Mettici la faccia?
Mettici la faccia, yes, it's on.
He's a staff member, yeah, okay. Mettici la faccia, Vittorio, ciao.
Ciao, lo rinomino, metto Vic. Sì.
Sì.
Ma
okay, Vittorio is a member of the Parkinson staff, and he deals with sound and normally, so he's going to help us if there is any need.
Perfect.
Devi sentire, Vic, ok, volevamo fare una prova con Ginette, che ha un problema col microfono. Se puoi fare una prova adesso, Ginette, se vogliamo provare, vediamo come va. Meanwhile, Isabel, can you hear me well now?
Yeah, very well. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I was wondering if you've spoken to Dr. Bloem about the interpreting.
Yeah, actually he should be on. He sent me a message at 11 o'clock. You know, if he needs any slides or any preparation, since his secretary put everything on, and it seems like she didn't communicate very well with him. And when I talked with him 3-4 weeks ago, everything was clear. I told him that he should join us 20 minutes before, but yeah.
Okay, he'll be on his way. Meanwhile, I've just noticed, Jeanette, I see there are two instances of your name. Because you have, oh right, yeah, of course you have the computer and the phone. Okay, I see. And I see that you've got both microphones muted, but maybe you can try and unmute one and see how it goes with the echo. Maybe it's a good Isabel to
I'm listening.
To co-host me so that I'm at the top and you can see me better.
Dovrebbe fare anche a me scosta, altrimenti non riesco a
And the
gestirmi.
same with Vic, so that we are in the upper part of the participant list.
Okay, you should be up there now, and
Yeah,
the other one was
Vic, the one
yeah.
VIK. Yeah.
He's up there too on number.
Ciao Sami.
Okay, you should be on.
Okay.
Great,
Oh,
thank you
there's
very much.
Bas. Wait, I have to
Okay.
unmute Bas. Good morning, Bas. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hi, how are you?
I'm very good. Very good.
Good.
It's evening here.
Oh yeah, it's evening in Italy too, I guess.
Yeah, same time.
Yeah, actually, I just like to tell you how we planned on doing it. Actually, Andrea is the interpreter, and Andrea, maybe you explain how you would like to do the translation.
Yes, nice to meet you, Dr. Bloem. I'm going to work with a consecutive interpreting because we believe it's better than simultaneous during this meeting. So if it's not a problem for you, just to do it in short sentences so that I can translate after you.
Sure. I tend to talk a lot, but I'll try to keep it brief.
No, just the thing is that the problem with this platform is that there is a slight delay. So basically, I hear your speech like a second or two later. So if you can just leave some parts when I can speak after a few sentences,
Sure.
Not too long,
And
because being a person with Parkinson, my memory is not as good as it used to be.
all right. You're forgiven. Is this an interview? Will I answer questions, or can I speak freely, or what is the idea?
Isabel deals with this.
Yeah, you actually can speak freely, and afterwards we would like to do a question and answer. And I don't know, do you need to use any slides or not? It's up to you, you know.
Well, we've got 7 minutes. I have a few slides, which
Okay.
maybe is not bad. Let me quickly look into, because I can use share screen, right?
Yes, you do. Mm-hmm.
Let me quickly look into that. I didn't prepare it. It's a Saturday, but I've done one before for another audience, which I can probably use.
Yeah, you know, if not, don't worry. I think you are such a great talker. Yeah.
No, I can. I have one here.
Okay, good.
Let me refresh my own memory what I was saying.
Aveva chiesto di essere host.
Sorry?
Sorry,
Yeah,
Vic?
somebody from the radio station is also on, and he actually managed some technical things too.
Yes, Vic wanted to know if maybe it's a good idea if Dr. Bloem is also co-host.
Yes.
So that, yeah. Actually, he should be co-host to share the screen, I believe.
No, actually, he is a co-host, and everybody.
Now he should see the green button, share screen.
Ok, ok, ok. Adesso può condividere, sì. Ginetta, ancora problemi con l'audio?
Vediamo, Ginette, ci senti? Ah, Ginette comunque ha un solo dispositivo adesso, vedo, per cui non dovrebbe avere più problemi con
Di
l'eco.
ritorno.
Yeah, okay. Ginette.
And
Sì.
can you also remind me about the audience? Is this mainly people living with Parkinson's, or
Yeah.
is this is
Yeah.
for people with Parkinson's? Right, right.
Yeah, we might have a few doctors, but mostly, yes, people with Parkinson.
Actually, I think people have some of your students that studied under you, if I'm right. I think somebody told me we have 2 or 3 doctors there that studied with you.
Would you? We have an hour. Is that correct?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I can say something briefly about why I think this crisis is so important. What does about the Corona crisis and why that is so important and the impact? Is that something you would appreciate?
Absolutely, very much, because our association, Parkinson, Dr. The Roman association started the program here using Zoom for classes and meetings with people with Parkinson. And so we are very much into this.
Goedenavond, dokter Bloem. Groetjes uit Nederland.
Ah, kijk eens aan. Groetjes terug.
Goedenavond, wij hebben elkaar bij die Parkinson in Valkenburg leren kennen. En ik ben een vriendin van Ed van Miel.
Dat weet ik nog. In de
Ik
villa.
heb gezegd, u volgt ons, dus ik ben ook aanwezig. En ik namens alle Italianen, dank u wel dat u hier wilt zijn. Namens de Parkinson Wereld uit Italië.
Mille grazie. All right, so I have my slides here. Shall we just quickly check if that works?
Yeah.
Let me see. I'm just going to quickly close other things here, like Outlook.
Dr. Nicola Mudini.
Okay, now I'm going to try.
Okay.
Screen, okay, I can already see it. So now you can probably see my slides. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Can you see it?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can see it.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yes.
Shall I close it now for the introduction so that people see Isabella before at the entry, and I can open it later? Is that a good idea?
Yeah, I think it's a good idea if we start without, and then you can switch them on when necessary.
Yeah.
Great.
Good. And so we'll do a presentation, and then we can probably take question and answers, which is probably the best.
Okay.
Yeah. We have 2 more minutes, no 1 minute.
Okay, just 1 second. Ginette, tu
Sì.
tradurrai invece le domande, va bene? È così, ho capito bene?
Sì, quelle della chat.
Okay. Ginette will translate the questions from the audience into English, and I will translate what you say into Italian.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Can we, Isabel, can we give Nicola Modugno a mic also? He wanted to say hello.
Who is it?
Nicola Modugno, Nicola. Okay.
Okay, yeah, I give him a mic.
Nicola, eccoti, non so se ci...
Hi, Bas.
Hey, nice to see you.
How are you?
Tutti va bene, tutti va bene.
You're becoming a superstar, actually.
Just trying to help.
Okay, so I will listen to you.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful to see you. Are you well in the time of crisis?
Wonderfully, yes, because we made so many things here, and we created really so much, and so it was really enthusiastic time for me. And
Wonderful.
we really support so many people, and with a very innovative way. But it's not the matter now. So now it's up to you. And I'm here also to moderate some questions for you also as well.
Brilliant. That makes me happy. It's so nice to see you. You know, you miss your friends. Just sitting at home and not be able to travel.
A big hello from Francesca. That she would have liked to join us, but she can't. Alfonso as well, and perhaps somebody else would join us.
I can tell you, I'm counting the days when we can sit down with the four of us, like we used to do.
Yeah.
With a good glass of Valpolicella, eh?
Yeah, hopefully.
Nico, se vuoi abbiamo anche una sigla, se loro vogliono.
Noi siamo, diciamo, non siamo noi che conduciamo. Quindi,
No. Conduce Isabel.
Appunto, decide lei.
E tra l'altro, Nicola, c'è Ginette Caron che vedi, che si occuperà delle domande a Dottor Bloom in inglese, mentre io farò la traduzione in italiano.
Ok, quindi io non devo fare niente.
Così sembra. Non so se vuoi assistere Ginette, se ci sono dei problemi, diciamo, domande di carattere tecnico.
Buongiorno Nicola, sono Ginette.
Sì, buongiorno. Salve Ginette.
Okay, I think it's time to start, right?
Yeah.
Well, okay, welcome. I'm very happy to host your meeting today. My name is Isabel Senft-Daniel. I live in the US. As you can hear, I have a slight accent. I'm actually German. Yeah, I'm very happy to host this meeting. We have a new group, One World, One Voice. Actually, the purpose of this group is to get everybody in the world together to start really to fight against Parkinson's, to make our voice heard. And I'm so happy I met so many new people all around the world in the last couple of weeks and months. And I hope that those joint meetings will bring us all together and, you know, raise the voice. And we had in mind really with Bas and Dr. Bloem and Dr. Oken and Dr. Dorsey and Dr. Scherer to really get, you know, to get a movement going. And I'm very happy to present Dr. Bloem today as our featured speaker. Some of the rules: everybody should be muted except the translators. We will take questions later on, and you can write your questions in the chat room, and then I think we will have somebody translating this.
Ok, allora intanto un saluto da Isabel Senft-Daniel, che vive negli Stati Uniti ma è di origine tedesca. Voleva dire quanto è contenta di questo movimento Open World, One World, One Voice, che sta proponendo, diciamo, questa battaglia contro il Parkinson, e avremo, diciamo, una presentazione da parte del dottor Bloem, e poi ci saranno delle domande, che si potranno fare delle domande tramite la chat. Per favore, se mantenete i microfoni spenti, in modo tale che non ci siano disturbi durante l'incontro. Grazie. Dr. Bloem, I think we can start. The only thing is slightly shorter bits of speech so I can translate.
Yes, okay. And I I will pause, and then you'll note when I pause. You can take over.
Yeah, okay.
Can you see it?
Riuscite a vedere? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, you can see the slides.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good.
Yeah, get the full
Buongiorno, buonasera a tutti. I don't speak any Italian, but I'm very happy to be here and to also see friends on the other end of the line, and very happy to provide my support.
Saluto tutti quanti, purtroppo non parlo italiano, ma sono molto contento di vedere tanti amici qui presenti oggi.
So my main disclosure is we will be talking about this new book that came out with an important title. It's called Ending Parkinson's Disease, which is, I think, on the one hand, a provocative title, but also one that should hopefully give all of you hope.
Intanto voglio dire una cosa, siamo qui per presentare un libro che, come sapete, si intitola Ending Parkinson's Disease, porre fine, terminare la malattia di Parkinson, che è un titolo chiaramente un po' provocatorio, ma che spero che ci serva anche a dare speranza.
What we describe in the book is a number of things, but one of the things that triggered the book was a paper that my friend Ray Dorsey and I published in JAMA Neurology, which is an important journal in our field, to show that Parkinson's disease is unfortunately the fastest growing brain disease in the world.
Il libro parla di diverse cose, però diciamo ha preso spunto da una pubblicazione in cui insieme a Ray Dorsey abbiamo visto che in questo momento il Parkinson è la malattia neurologica che sta crescendo più in tutto il mondo.
So we are all obviously becoming older, and this is why many diseases become more common, for example, dementia. But if you correct for the effect of aging, dementia actually stays the same. Stroke, for example, goes down because we live healthier. But there is literally only one condition in the world that keeps growing even beyond the effect of aging, and that is Parkinson's disease.
È vero che la popolazione sta invecchiando, questo è chiaro, però se andiamo a vedere i dati delle malattie che riguardano la vecchiaia, come ad esempio la demenza, vediamo che la demenza è rimasta più o meno stabile come numeri, l'ictus è in discesa addirittura e solo il Parkinson cresce nettamente.
And you see a slide here of the pyramids in Egypt, which are obviously made by man. And we think that this fast rise in new patients with Parkinson's disease is not caused because there is a new gene, for example, in our hereditary materials. But we think that Parkinson's is at least to a large extent man-made. In other words, we are doing this to ourselves. And it also means that Parkinson's could in the future and should in the future be preventable.
Vedete delle piramidi, quindi queste sono state realizzate dall'uomo. Ecco, noi riteniamo che la malattia di Parkinson non dipenda certamente da una nuova mutazione genetica o cose di questo genere, ma che sia molto dipendente da noi. Quindi questo significa che noi possiamo fare qualcosa per prevenirla nel futuro.
And one of the factors we think that plays a role is industrialization. As you may remember, Parkinson's disease was for the first time described in 1817 by James Parkinson at the time when an industrial revolution took place in England. The disease is now doubling in China in the last 10 years. It's really going very fast in China, where of course they are now having their own industrial revolution.
Riteniamo che la malattia di Parkinson dipenda dall'industrializzazione. Infatti nel 1817 James Parkinson scoprì la malattia e fu il primo a parlarne ed eravamo in piena rivoluzione industriale. Oggi abbiamo lo stesso problema, per esempio in Cina c'è stato un raddoppiamento ed è lì adesso che c'è una rivoluzione industriale.
So one of the factors, as you can see here, this is a picture actually from China very recently, is air pollution. But one factor, and this is a picture in the next slide from our book, Ending Parkinson's Disease, is the use of pesticides.
vediamo quell'immagine che abbiamo visto, era l'inquinamento dell'aria, l'inquinamento atmosferico in Cina, ma ci sono altri motivi, per esempio i pesticidi. Questa è un'immagine che vediamo, che è stata presa dal nostro libro.
Pesticides were introduced in the world after the Second World War, when the world's population was growing fast, and we needed better ways to grow corn and other products on our fields to feed all these many mouths in the world. So the pesticides were introduced basically in the 1950s. And many of these pesticides, unfortunately, are very toxic to the brain and specifically to the areas involved in causing Parkinson's disease.
Dopo la seconda guerra mondiale c'era una popolazione in rapida crescita, avevamo bisogno quindi di pesticidi e furono introdotti negli anni 50 proprio per migliorare la resa dell'agricoltura, ma molti di questi pesticidi sono tossici per il sistema nervoso, per il cervello e per le aree specificamente coinvolte dal Parkinson.
What you see in this slide, again, which is from our book, is the use of paraquat. Paraquat is extremely toxic to the substantia nigra, the area that is the cause of Parkinson's disease. If you give paraquat to a mouse, it kills the substantia nigra and causes Parkinson's symptoms. For that reason, paraquat has been banned from over 60 countries in the world, even in China. It's still used today in the United States. This cartoon is showing the use of paraquat today in the United States. England is the #1 producer and exporter of paraquat. And for example, well, maybe you translate this first.
Sì, per esempio qui vediamo il paraquat che è responsabile della distruzione dei neuroni della sostanza nigra e per esempio sono stati fatti degli esperimenti sui topi e in effetti va proprio a colpire la sostanza nigra e quindi causa diciamo sintomi simili a quelli del Parkinson. In molti paesi del mondo è stato bandito ma non negli Stati Uniti. Questo per esempio sono i dati degli Stati Uniti ed è al primo posto il Regno Unito nell'importare e nel produrre il paraquat.
And so it's incredible that some countries, including America, are still using paraquat. But for example, in the Netherlands, we use a little sister or brother of paraquat, which is chemically almost identical. They modified it a little bit. It's never been tested for toxicity in rodents. And we spray this on our fields, on the tulip fields and elsewhere every day, which I think is incredible, and we should stop that practice.
Quindi come avete visto negli Stati Uniti è incredibile, ma il paraquat è utilizzato ampiamente. Per esempio in Olanda abbiamo un cugino diciamo, di questa sostanza che comunque è ugualmente, anche se non è stata mai provata sui roditori, ma comunque è altamente tossico ed è incredibile che venga utilizzato sui nostri campi.
And paraquat is just one of many toxic compounds that we are concerned about. Other ones include, for example, trichloroethylene, which is widely used everywhere in the world, also in Italy, as a cleaning material for stains, for example, in the clothes and to clean metals. Very toxic to the substantia nigra, just like paraquat. It sits in the water, it enters the food chain, and the book is full of examples of toxic compounds produced by us as human beings that are, we think, responsible for the fast rise in new patients with Parkinson's disease, and we need to do something about it.
Esiste un'altra sostanza, il tricloroetilene, che è molto utilizzato anche in Italia, viene utilizzato per esempio per pulire i metalli, in generale per la pulizia, però rimane nell'ambiente, rimane nella catena alimentare e comunque a parte questo ci sono moltissimi altri composti tossici che vediamo sono legati all'aumento della malattia di Parkinson.
So in the book, which you see again here, we draw attention to the pandemic. We basically ask for a call to action for all of you on the line today and everybody with an interest and who feels warmly about people with Parkinson's disease to start doing something. We need to call out to governments to clean our environment, to stop these toxic chemicals, And at the same time, knowing that there will be millions and millions of new patients in the world very soon, we need to develop better treatments so that we can better support families living with Parkinson's.
Quindi nel libro parliamo di questa pandemia e chiediamo di agire e chiediamo anche a voi che siete qui oggi, che avete a cuore le questioni legate alla malattia di Parkinson, dobbiamo chiedere ai governi che facciano qualcosa, che vengano eliminati questi pesticidi e nel frattempo, visto che avremo milioni di nuovi casi, dobbiamo preoccuparci di migliorare il trattamento, le terapie del Parkinson.
You can support the good cause by ordering the book on this website that you can see here. Also the many webcasts that we have been doing with the authors, Ray Dorsey, Michael Oken and Todd Shearer, can be found on this website. But this is also the place where you can buy the book. You can also buy it, of course, on Amazon or anywhere else.
Quindi come è possibile sostenere questa campagna? Intanto ordinando il libro sul sito che vedete, www.endingpd.org, dove troverete anche molti dei webcast che sono stati fatti dagli autori del libro, quindi per contribuire alla causa.
And just to make sure that you don't think that I'm here to advertise my own income, the authors are donating all proceeds to Parkinson charities to support efforts devoted to end Parkinson's disease. So all the money goes to the good cause.
Se qualcuno di voi dovesse essere preoccupato del fatto che sono qui per motivi personali, in realtà tutti gli autori daranno i propri gli introiti che verranno dalla vendita del libro a non profit che si occupano di ricerca e di malattie di Parkinson.
So what I hope is that you will buy the book, read the book, and then review the book by giving a good review, if you like the book, of course, but by giving a good review of the book, for example, on Amazon, it helps to raise awareness for the book, enhance the visibility, which is important in this time when all the attention is going to the corona crisis, but we have a separate pandemic happening apart from the corona pandemic, and that's the Parkinson pandemic. So buy the book, read the book, and review the book.
Quello che vi chiediamo è di acquistare il libro, di leggerlo e se vi piace naturalmente di fare una recensione positiva, perché le recensioni positive migliorano la visibilità e permettono di vendere ancora più copie, per esempio su Amazon, e dobbiamo renderci conto che a parte quella da coronavirus stiamo vivendo un'altra pandemia altrettanto grave.
I won't address this in detail, but you can read this and I'm happy to share the slide with you. But basically, we think, I'm quickly going to talk about the corona crisis now as a next topic. We don't think that people with Parkinson's disease have a higher risk of developing a corona infection, a COVID infection. We do think that if you have the infection, people with Parkinson's have an increased risk of experiencing the severe complications, in particularly on your respiratory system.
Adesso vorrei parlare un po' della crisi legata al Covid-19, al coronavirus, e questa slide comunque la condividerò con voi, potete leggerla con calma, però quello che volevo dire è che sappiamo che le persone con il Parkinson non hanno il rischio superiore, diciamo, di contrarre, di essere contagiati dalla malattia, però nel momento che vengono contagiati possono avere delle complicanze maggiori, soprattutto nell'apparato respiratorio.
So while the virus is around, I think it is important that people with Parkinson's try to prevent becoming infected.
Quindi ora che il virus, finché è in giro, è importante che le persone con il Parkinson evitino nel miglior modo possibile di essere contagiate.
But in a paper that I published about a month ago, we also raise awareness for the fact that in order to prevent the infection, people need to stay at home, maintain social distances. But this also comes with a price. And we've called this the hidden sorrows. So the immediate threat of the corona is the worry about becoming infected, going to intensive care, or dying. The hidden sorrows go well beyond that, and I will come to that in a minute.
Ho pubblicato questo paper che vedete un mese fa per sensibilizzare sulla questione del coronavirus e sul fatto che è necessario stare a casa, quindi per chi è malato di Parkinson il più possibile stare attenti alla distanza sociale, eccetera. Però c'è da dire che ci sono dei dolori nascosti nel fare questo, di cui adesso vi vorrei parlare.
And this paper is now in the top 5% of best discussed papers in the world of neuroscience, no, actually in science in general. So this paper has been extremely well received by the international community. You can even see here as an example that even the Times addressed our paper because they felt that the message was so important.
Ecco, volevo dirvi che l'articolo è stato molto ben recepito ed è nei primi 5% di articoli in generale proprio della scienza che vengono discussi. Infatti qui vedete una citazione sul Times per l'importanza che ha avuto su questo tema.
And what we describe in the book is, in this article, is 3 important hidden sorrows. One is the effects of acute and chronic stress for people with Parkinson's. You probably all know this. I've had it myself, this constant feeling of anxiety, of worry, of uncertainty. And I'll explain in a minute why that is so important. Maybe explain this one first.
Ok, intanto volevo dire che nell'articolo descrivo 3 aspetti fondamentali legati proprio a questi dolori nascosti di cui vi parlavo. Intanto l'effetto, diciamo, che ha lo stress acuto e cronico. Tutti quanti noi l'abbiamo provato e sappiamo di cosa si parla.
The second part, of course, is when you stay at home, you're no longer to go out as much as you would like. This definitely was a big issue in Italy in the recent weeks. So lack of physical activity is a big concern for people with Parkinson's.
Poi abbiamo un altro problema, voi in Italia lo sapete molto bene perché con il lockdown siete stati costretti in casa, ma la mancanza di attività fisica è un grosso problema per le persone con il Parkinson.
And third, of course, is the loneliness and the solitude. People no longer able to see their children, their grandchildren, their families, which is important in any country in the world, but maybe, can I say that, extra important, family life in Italy.
E naturalmente abbiamo il problema della solitudine, le persone con il Parkinson che non possono vedere i figli, che non possono stare con la famiglia, che non possono vedere i nipoti. Questo è un problema ovviamente per tutti, ma in Italia è chiaro che è un problema molto importante, quello della distanza dalla famiglia.
So, the first part is stress. And the one condition in the world that is so sensitive to stress is Parkinson's disease. Every patient knows that when they are stressed, the tremor gets worse, freezing, the feet being glued to the floor gets worse, and the dyskinesias, the involuntary movements induced by the medication, get worse. So stress can acutely worsen the Parkinson symptoms.
Noi tutti sappiamo che lo stress peggiora i sintomi del Parkinson e in particolare può aumentare per esempio i tremori, il freezing che conosciamo bene e anche gli effetti legati alla discinesia.
But what we also describe in the paper is that chronic stress may be leading to a further hastening of the progression of Parkinson's disease. There is experimental evidence to suggest that chronic stress is causing further damage to the substantia nigra, and it may lead to a speeding up of the progression of Parkinson's. So this is a big concern.
E sappiamo poi in particolare che lo stress cronico, dai dati scientifici che abbiamo a disposizione, peggiora la malattia, peggiora i danni alla sostanza nigra e quindi il progresso della malattia è più rapido.
So we need to think about treatments to reduce stress. Probably dopamine medication is one way of suppressing stress. Usually the stress can respond to dopamine medication.
Dobbiamo pensare quindi a trattamenti che ci aiutino a ridurre lo stress. Uno naturalmente è quello della dopamina che chiaramente può ridurre lo stress anche.
But we are now particularly interested in, for example, mindfulness or yoga treatments. We just completed a survey in 5,000 American patients. They said stress was very common, that's one. Stress was leading to a worsening of their disease, number two. And at least 40% of American patients is already using mindfulness or yoga and find it to be very effective. Now, that's not to say that this proves that it works, but I think there is a lot of interest in the Parkinson community in interventions such as mindfulness and yoga.
Come fare quindi, a parte diciamo dopamina di cui abbiamo parlato, intanto le terapie legate alla mindfulness e allo yoga sono sicuramente importanti. C'è stato un sondaggio recentemente, una survey su 5.000 pazienti americani, statunitensi, che ha mostrato come 40% di loro siano convinti che la mindfulness aiuti a ridurre lo stress. Quindi è efficace, diciamo, nel trattare i sintomi. Naturalmente siamo solo all'inizio, ma non sono prove ancora definitive, ma comunque si vede che queste terapie legate alla mindfulness e allo yoga possono aiutare.
And without going into details, but the first good scientific papers are now coming out to support actually the evidence that this is a good intervention for Parkinson's. We need more scientific work, but I think while we wait for more evidence, this is certainly something I recommend to my patients. And importantly, there are good ways of delivering mindfulness through telemedicine, like we're doing today in a Zoom conference, to deliver mindfulness interventions at home to patients.
Ci sono comunque già dei primi paper con dei dati scientifici a supporto delle prove che fanno vedere come effettivamente la mindfulness e lo yoga aiutino nella gestione, per esempio, dello stress. Quindi io lo raccomando ai miei pazienti e fra l'altro è qualcosa che grazie alla telemedicina, come il caso per esempio dell'uso di Zoom, come siamo in questa nostra conferenza, possiamo portare questo tipo di attività proprio nelle case dei pazienti.
Now, the second part that I'm going to talk about is the lack of physical activity. And this, even when you don't have Parkinson's disease, many of us are already not active enough. But this is, of course, now compounded by the fact that people have to stay at home. And just dreaming about a six-pack is not enough. You really need to exercise.
Il secondo aspetto è quello della mancanza di attività fisica. E questo è un problema che naturalmente adesso che siamo più a casa per il lockdown è grosso. È un problema per tutti, naturalmente, non solamente per i pazienti di Parkinson, ma non è sufficiente pensare al fatto di fare dell'attività fisica, dobbiamo anche farla concretamente.
And of course, people with Parkinson's, and we know this, have extra problems to become active because of their physical impairments, the walking problems, the balance issues, but also the cognitive issues when people are depressed or even apathy or the fatigue are all factors that make it more difficult for people with Parkinson's to exercise.
Naturalmente quando nel caso dei pazienti di Parkinson il problema è più grosso perché è più difficile riuscire a fare un'attività fisica regolare per problemi fisici, ma anche per aspetti legati al declino cognitivo, per cui problemi anche legati extra non motori come la depressione, l'apatia, l'affaticamento.
And this is a study that we published to show that as people with Parkinson's get more sick, when the disease gets worse, they become less and less physically active. And I think this graph will look even more terrible now during the corona crisis.
Per esempio questo studio che abbiamo pubblicato, che è stato pubblicato, si vede come man mano che la malattia progredisce peggiora lo stato fisico e le persone fanno meno attività fisica e questo naturalmente sarà ancora peggiore adesso che abbiamo avuto questa crisi del coronavirus.
And the reason we are so concerned is that if you are not active, you can develop all of these complications. It's bad for your heart and the lungs. It's bad for bone health. It's bad for sleep. It's bad for cognition. It's bad for your mood. It leads to depression. It's bad for bowel movements. And people who don't move much have greater mortality.
E ci sono altri effetti, diciamo, collaterali della mancanza di inattività, e, per esempio problemi di carattere cardiovascolare, problemi legati alle ossa, l'osteoporosi, problemi legati al sonno, problemi legati agli aspetti cognitivi, alla depressione, alla costipazione, quindi problemi intestinali, e in generale tutti questi aspetti causano una maggiore mortalità.
And people with Parkinson's already have a risk because of Parkinson's disease for exactly the same complications. So people with Parkinson's are bit in the tail twice. Parkinson's is causing these symptoms and inactivity is causing these symptoms. So they have a double problem.
E nel caso delle persone con il Parkinson, il problema è doppio. Già la malattia causa questo tipo di problemi, in più l'inattività si aggiunge, quindi c'è una doppia causa di questi effetti.
So we think it is very important that people with Parkinson's disease exercise more, and we have summarized it in this publication. I can share that with you if you're interested. But still being able to exercise is extremely important for people with Parkinson's disease.
Quindi in questa pubblicazione abbiamo parlato, e se volete poi la condividerò con voi, di quanto è importante l'attività fisica, e gli esercizi sono fondamentali per i malati di Parkinson.
And I just wanted to share this paper with you by my group, which came out last year in Lancet Neurology, which was a very interesting study where we asked people with Parkinson's disease to exercise on a stationary bicycle 3 times a week at home. And I like this study particularly now because people can do the exercise in their own homes on a stationary bicycle, a home trainer.
Bene, quindi abbiamo pubblicato su Lancet Neurology questo articolo in cui vediamo che utilizzando 3 volte a settimana la cyclette a casa, quindi direttamente, diciamo, attività fisica casalinga, abbiamo un miglioramento dei sintomi.
And by exercising 3 times a week on a bicycle at home, we were able to show that people stabilized their symptoms. So the control group that was only doing stretching exercises declined, which is what you expect. They got worse over time. Whereas people who were exercising 3 times a week for 30 minutes on a bicycle had stable symptoms.
Quindi quello che abbiamo visto è che nei 2 gruppi sperimentali, nel gruppo sperimentale che faceva 3 volte a settimana la cyclette, i sintomi si stabilizzavano, mentre nel gruppo di controllo che faceva solo stretching, i sintomi peggioravano.
And I will show you some very new findings that were not in our original papers. Tutti nuovi. Is that correct, Andrea?
Sì, perfetto, very good.
Molto bene. Is we also did brain scans in a large group that was doing exercising or the control group that was doing stretching. And what I find incredible, we are submitting the paper to the Lancet on Monday, is that the control patients had a shrinking brain atrophy, whereas we were able to stop the brain atrophy from happening in the exercise group.
Adesso abbiamo dei nuovi risultati, abbiamo fatto dell'imaging cerebrale nei 2 gruppi e da questi risultati vediamo, siamo molto colpiti, li pubblicheremo su Lancet, abbiamo proposti a Lancet in questi giorni, che il gruppo di controllo invece aveva dei problemi di atrofia cerebrale.
And we also made a so-called functional MRI to look at brain connections, and we showed that the exercise group was making new brain connections in their brain thanks to the exercise.
E facendo appunto una scansione di questo tipo nel gruppo sperimentale che faceva quindi gli esercizi, abbiamo visto che c'erano dei nuovi collegamenti a livello cerebrale.
So I think if anything should motivate people with Parkinson's to now do exercises at home, it must be this paper. I think there is no ifs, ands or buts. People should really exercise.
Io penso che un articolo di questo genere non possa far altro che motivare le persone. È fondamentale esercitarsi a casa.
Motivazione grande.
È una grande motivazione, yes.
So I think we now live in a time where lifestyle is more important than ever. And because you cannot go to the hospital, there are many things that you as a patient can do. And it is exercise, and the other thing is diet. And maybe, Andrea, we should do another one on diet. I will be brief about diet today, but a healthy diet is also important. And maybe we should do this another time and talk about diet.
Yeah, ok. Allora, lo stile di vita oggi in questo periodo è fondamentale. Non possiamo andare in ospedale, ma possiamo comunque esercitarci, questo è fondamentale, ma un altro aspetto è quello della dieta. Oggi non ne parliamo, ma potrebbe essere una buona cosa magari fare un altro incontro e parlare degli aspetti nutrizionali.
And just finally, and then we can go to the questions, is a lot of these interventions can be now delivered at home through telemedicine. There are remote dance classes, remote exercise classes. We talked about remote mindfulness interventions. We are learning from the crisis that a lot of the chronic care for people with Parkinson's actually doesn't require you to come to the hospital and can be delivered remotely at home in your own house.
Uno dei frutti della crisi è quello di aver scoperto la telemedicina, cioè il fatto che molte cose si possono fare a casa, quindi per esempio le classi di danza, di mindfulness, e quindi non c'è più bisogno di andare in ospedale, ma si possono fare le cure utili direttamente a casa propria.
And we just published this paper in JAMA Neurology, with the title that I like, the COVID crisis as a catalyst. I think the crisis is horrible, and I hope it will be over very soon, so we can resume to normal elements of life. But at the same time, the crisis has now accelerated the introduction of telemedicine. And I think modern care for Parkinson patients is now brought forward, I think, faster than ever before. So hopefully, when the crisis is over, we can keep the good parts and deliver better care into your own homes.
La crisi, quindi, come vediamo da questo articolo che abbiamo pubblicato recentemente, funziona da catalizzatore. Ovviamente la crisi è qualcosa di orribile, questo è chiaro, ma dobbiamo almeno vedere che l'aspetto positivo è quello di aver accelerato, nel caso dei malati di Parkinson, le cure moderne, di aver accelerato la telemedicina e quindi il fatto che più velocemente stiamo andando in questa direzione delle cure a casa.
And just finally, and then we'll go to the questions, just to remember you to buy the book, read the book, and review the book if you like it.
Bene, adesso passiamo alle domande, alla session delle domande, ma intanto volevo semplicemente ricordarvi ancora di acquistare il libro, di leggerlo e di dare delle recensioni.
Finito. Basta.
Okay, I think we are ready to take in some questions here. If Jeanette would like to translate the questions from the chat.
Beach Zumbo, who's the president of Italian Parkinson Youth Association, wrote me a message and I would like to read it. I don't know if I should read it in English or in Italian.
Maybe you can read it in Italian and then translate it also in English.
Okay. Ha detto che non poteva purtroppo assistere alla sessione perché sta molto male e quindi mi ha scritto una lettera. In qualità di presidente dell'Associazione Italiana Giovani Parkinsoniani porgo il mio più caloroso saluto al dottor Bloem che ci onora della sua presenza. Saluto anche con grande affetto tutti coloro che si sono collegati e condivideranno questo evento. Purtroppo il mio stato di salute non mi permette di partecipare, ma sono con voi ugualmente. Sono certa che questo incontro sarà di ispirazione per tutti noi, e mi auguro che questa affluenza così numerosa e questo entusiasmo ci forniscano le energie per intraprendere azioni concrete e condivise al di là di ogni schieramento a favore delle persone con Parkinson. Un collettivo abbraccio.
Okay, so maybe we can translate it now for Dr. Bloem.
Yes, please translate.
Yes.
Are you going to translate?
Yes.
Okay.
As president of the Italian Parkinsonian Youth Association, I extend my warmest greetings to Dr. Bloem, who honors us with his presence. I also greet with great affection all those who have connected and will share this event. Unfortunately, my state of health doesn't allow me to participate, but I am with you anyway. I am sure that this meeting will be an inspiration for all of us, and I hope that this large turnout and enthusiasm will give us the energy to take concrete and shared actions in favor of people with Parkinson's disease. A collective hug.
Wonderful. Mille grazie.
So I have some questions. First one is disease familiarity. Are there any risks for children and grandchildren? Is there a way to understand the predisposition?
Yes, so Parkinson's can be a genetic condition, particularly for people who develop the disease at a young age. So we talked about the environment, and the environment is important. Clearly, the environment is not the only reason why people can develop Parkinson's. Genetic factors can play a role, particularly for people who develop the disease at a young age, below 50 or below 40. We still don't recommend testing a lot because it doesn't have immediate consequences. That may change very soon. There are new treatments being developed that are specifically linked to a specific gene. So today, knowing whether you have the gene or not doesn't really matter much, but it may change soon.
Esiste una predisposizione, può esserci una componente genetica più forte, soprattutto in chi sviluppa la malattia in età giovanile, quindi sotto i 50 e i 40. L'ambiente, l'abbiamo detto, è importante, ma anche l'aspetto genetico. Comunque non raccomandiamo di fare i test perché la situazione può cambiare presto, in attesa di trattamenti proprio pensati per chi ha una predisposizione genetica. Pensiamo che sia il caso di attendere prima di fare dei test specifici.
Another question is, what are the current theories about prevention?
Yes, this is very interesting. So, and this is addressed in detail in the book. So if people want to hear all about it, read the book. But the short story is, prevention is on the one hand, trying to clean the environment, getting rid of pesticides, getting rid of trichloroethylene, probably eating organic food, which is contaminated with pesticides. We know that milk products are associated with the risk of developing Parkinson's, probably because they are contaminated with pesticides. So a part of prevention is in cleaning the environment and a healthy diet, preventing too much dairy products, eating organic food. And there is interesting work to suggest that a Mediterranean diet, which hopefully should come automatically for all of you Italians, also is leading to a lower risk of developing Parkinson's.
Unfortunately, a lot of people eat American-style diet in Italy too. Sì, nel libro si parla molto di questo aspetto della prevenzione, quindi potete leggerlo nel libro, ma intanto in breve vi posso dire che sicuramente pulire l'ambiente è importante, quindi il tricloroetilene e tutti i pesticidi. Mangiare bio è anche una buona cosa, quindi tutto quello che ha a che fare con una dieta sana, e per esempio i latticini possono essere molto contaminati dai pesticidi, quindi ridurre anche questi può essere d'aiuto nella prevenzione. La dieta mediterranea chiaramente è una dieta che per molti aspetti può aiutare.
And then the other important element is that there is a number of papers, including a new publication, to suggest that exercise helps to prevent or reduce the risk of developing Parkinson's disease. So, of course, this does not apply to the people in the call today who already have the disease. But if you want to tell your children something, it is something we should tell everybody in society, is that apart from a healthy diet, regular exercise is good for many things, but it includes reducing the risk of developing Parkinson's disease.
Un altro aspetto fondamentale, ci sono tanti paper, molti paper che lo affermano, che lo provano, l'esercizio fisico ancora una volta, e quindi come prevenzione e riduzione del rischio di contrarre il Parkinson, ma in realtà noi una cosa fondamentale che possiamo dire ai nostri figli è di svolgere attività regolare, perché serve a prevenire molte malattie, ma anche il Parkinson.
Quindi, origin of Parkinson in the intestines, guts. Where are we with the research about that?
Yes. I think the evidence is growing that there is a very tight connection between the gut and Parkinson's disease. We think that for a large group of people with Parkinson's, not all of them, but for a large group, the disease may start in the gut. Why it starts in the gut, we don't know. One theory is that, again, the pesticides or the trichloroethylene is causing the damage and thereby starts a trigger that then leads to a cascade of events, eventually leading to Parkinson's disease. But it is clear that gut issues, in particular slow bowel movements, can precede, antedate the development of true Parkinson's disease by many, many years. It's not true for everyone, but for many people, Parkinson's starts in the gut.
Ci sono sempre più prove che dimostrano come i problemi all'intestino siano legati al Parkinson. Ci sono sempre più prove, non vale per tutti naturalmente, comunque non sappiamo in che modo. Sicuramente uno dei modi è quello legato naturalmente al fatto che i pesticidi e tutti gli elementi tossici possono essere una prima causa. Ci sono infatti delle prove che i malati di Parkinson molti anni prima possono avere problemi di motilità intestinale e quindi diciamo questi possono essere dei sintomi precoci del Parkinson.
We also know that the microbiome, the bacteria in the gut, are changed probably in people with Parkinson's. But whether this is the cause of Parkinson's or the consequence of the slow bowel movements is not really well known. The results are not very consistent. So there are no therapies yet available to change the microbiome. So some people think that probiotics should be taken. There's only one small study to suggest a benefit, but I think this is not consistent. And the probiotics could also change your microbiome for the worse. So we need further work. So it's interesting, but early days.
E il fatto che poi riguarda diciamo, la natura del microbiota nel caso del Parkinson, che è stato visto che è diverso, ma non sappiamo gli aspetti causali, cioè quanto dipenda dal Parkinson, oppure il fatto che il Parkinson, il fatto di avere diciamo, dei problemi a livello intestinale causi delle modifiche del microbiota. Non ci sono delle terapie vere e proprie, si parla diciamo, dell'importanza dei probiotici, anche perché esiste solo uno studio e non è molto ancora definitivo il risultato, per cui in certi casi addirittura i probiotici possono peggiorare la situazione, quindi ancora siamo nelle prime fasi.
This was the question. Another one is antioxidants and vitamins as adjuvant to Modapar medication. Are they any efficient?
Sorry, can you say that again?
Antioxidant and vitamins as adjuvant to Modapar medication.
Yeah, there's a lot of interest in antioxidants. The substantia nigra is black, of course, is partly black because there's oxidization taking place. So people speculated that antioxidants might be protective for progression of Parkinson's. But unfortunately, all the tests that have been done, vitamin E, glutathione, all those studies have been negative so far. So people take these supplements, sometimes spend a lot of money on it, but unfortunately there is no good evidence. That's not to say it doesn't work. So I'm not forbidding my people to take it, but it can have side effects. It does cost you money, and the scientific evidence so far is very limited. And one concern is, how can we make sure that if you take a pill, an antioxidant by the mouth, whether it reaches the brain in a sufficiently high concentration? So far, no evidence.
Sugli antiossidanti, in effetti nella sostanza nigra, che è proprio nera per motivi di ossidazione, diciamo, si può pensare che gli antiossidanti possano aiutare, per esempio la vitamina E e altri integratori alimentari, però diciamo, le prove adesso non sono ancora diciamo, sufficienti, e quindi io non dico di no ai miei pazienti, però intanto è costoso, può avere degli effetti collaterali, e quindi adesso che ci sono poche prove non abbiamo, diciamo, non è propriamente una terapia del tutto consigliabile.
Okay, so test diagnosis, how is it today and in the near future?
To make the diagnosis. Is that the question?
Yes, test diagnosis, how is it today and in the near future?
So the diagnosis of Parkinson's today is still a clinical diagnosis. We need to see the symptoms and the signs, the slowing of the movements, the tremor, changes in walking patterns. But we know that we are relatively late. Probably people already have the disease for at least 7 to 10 or maybe more years by the time the doctor makes the diagnosis. So today it is still waiting for the symptoms, and it is the doctor listening to you and doing a neurological exam. We now know, now maybe translate this first, Andrea.
Yes, thank you. Sì, intanto oggi la diagnosi è di tipo clinico, per cui quello che succede è che quando ci sono dei sintomi viene fatto, si attendono i sintomi per poterlo verificare, e purtroppo questo è già tardi, perché si sa che anche può essere, la malattia può essere iniziata 7 o 10 anni, fino a 7-10 anni prima.
We do know which symptoms may precede Parkinson's before the doctor makes the diagnosis. Slow bowel movements, changes in the sleep pattern, reduced smell, pain in the shoulder, and the list goes on. So there are now formulas to combine these symptoms and calculate your risk of developing Parkinson's in the future. But this is only done in research, in trials, to identify people at risk of developing Parkinson's, so we can do tests in them. But this is not for clinical practice yet. So until today, we wait for the symptoms to arise. It will change.
Ancora siamo nella fase in cui dobbiamo aspettare che compaiano i sintomi. Certamente ci sono dei sintomi precoci, come una ridotta motilità intestinale, l'iposmia, i problemi dell'olfatto, il dolore alla spalla, insomma ce ne sono molti che possono essere precursori, però si tratta comunque di aspetti che solamente a livello di ricerca possono essere utilizzati, ancora non a livello di diagnosi clinica, però diciamo ci arriveremo.
Parkinson combined with cognitive decline in the elderly. Is that an explosive cocktail?
Yes. Well, just to say that, of course, we now realize that Parkinson's is much more than just the motor symptoms. So people think people who don't know Parkinson's think it's only slowness of movements, stiffness, and trembling. But of course, Parkinson's causes many, many, many non-motor symptoms, including changes in mood, changes in cognition. So altered thinking happens in at least 70%, if not more, of the Parkinson patients. So when you see people with Parkinson's and changes in thinking, it is very likely that this is related to Parkinson's disease itself. There may be another explanation, but let Andrea translate this first.
Ok, sì, diciamo, la domanda riguardava il declino cognitivo, il cocktail esplosivo insieme al Parkinson. In effetti vediamo, ci siamo accorti, ormai sappiamo bene che il Parkinson non è solamente fatto di sintomi motori, ma ci sono molti sintomi non motori. Quindi l'umore e aspetti, diciamo, cognitivi di vario tipo. Addirittura si vede che nel 70% dei casi abbiamo, diciamo, sintomi legati a problemi col pensiero.
Of course, I think the person who asked the question was concerned that people might have maybe a second disease, for example, Alzheimer's disease. And we know that, of course, when you have Parkinson's disease, you are not protected from developing another disease. But I think the one that we are particularly concerned about is developing little strokes in the brain, vascular lesions in the brain, at the same time as having Parkinson's disease. And this actually relates back to the lack of physical activity. So a number of studies have now shown that if you make a brain scan in people with Parkinson's, you actually see little strokes in the brain, which we think may make Parkinson's worse. And in particular, the cognitive issues, as well as the walking and the balance problems.
Penso che la persona che abbia posto la domanda si preoccupava del fatto che uno possa avere una seconda malattia, cioè per esempio l'Alzheimer, e questo avere il Parkinson non significa che siamo protetti da altre malattie. Comunque quello che succede è che a livello vascolare, abbiamo visto dall'imaging cerebrale che per esempio ci possono essere dei piccoli ictus nel cervello e questo può essere, diciamo, di per sé un problema che causa problemi di carattere cognitivo.
What do you think are the most promising directions in which the research should move?
You know, our book, I'm coming back to the book. The book is called Ending Parkinson's Disease. And we gave it this title because without causing false hope, I think there is hope for people with Parkinson's disease. I hope that during my lifetime as a neurologist, I will begin to see a treatment that at least will be able to slow down the progression of Parkinson's. Hopefully, maybe stop the progression. I think it will take a long time to prevent Parkinson's, but we should begin to take steps, particularly by cleaning the environment. Maybe translate this first, Andrea, and then I will say...
Okay, in Gulad. Ok, ritorno al mio libro. La domanda riguardava quali sono possibili direzioni future della ricerca. Sicuramente nel mio libro, il libro si intitola Terminare, porre fine alla malattia di Parkinson, quindi noi abbiamo una speranza e io penso che durante la mia vita io sono fiducioso che ci sarà la possibilità di ridurre la progressione, se non di fermare la progressione della malattia. Quello che riguarda invece la prevenzione ci vorrà molto tempo ancora. Sicuramente un passo che possiamo fare, come ho detto, è quello di pulire l'ambiente.
And what I think is giving people hope is that we understand much better today than ever before what is happening in the brain. In particular, the reasons why the brain cells are dying. And there are many new drugs being tested today in clinical trials that really tackle the process happening in the brain that kills the brain cells. And of course, this is trials, and trials will fail. The results are promising in mice and in rats, but a mouse is not a human being. but I think there are many promising treatments driven by new insights that can help to hopefully slow down the progression of Parkinson's. And again, I hope that in my lifetime, one of them will become a success and at least take that first step for people out there.
Ci sono comunque, ecco, un altro aspetto è che ci sono diverse ricerche che ci permettono di capire quello che succede nel cervello. Cominciamo a capire quello che avviene, per quale motivo le cellule vengono distrutte e quindi ci sono dei nuovi farmaci che ci permettono di andare a combattere questi aspetti, questi processi che sono distruttivi per il cervello. Quindi io ritorno sul fatto che sono speranzoso, sul fatto che qualcuno di questi trattamenti possa aiutarci a ridurre i sintomi nel prossimo futuro, e sicuramente qualcosa, diciamo, può accadere in questo senso.
Botulinum toxin. Is it a good way to reduce hand tremor? Are there problems or negative effects?
Yeah. So, sometimes, yes. So botulinum toxin is a natural toxin that is used to paralyze muscles on purpose. Of course, if you overdose it, then you become very weak. But if you do it in the right dose, it can help to suppress tremor. I have to say that we do a lot of tremor research in my own group. It's a big interest for us. Pills is number one, and people need to dose the levodopa usually a bit higher than usual to suppress tremor. Propranolol is an underused treatment, I think, even for resting tremor, without going into the details now. I always send my patients to an occupational therapist who teaches people to deal better with the tremor. So you don't treat the tremor itself, but you learn how to go to deal with the tremor better. And of course, deep brain stimulation is a very good treatment for tremor. Botulinum toxin is used sometimes in my group for local tremor, but it's not high on our list. So it is, yes, it is potentially a treatment, but it's not high on our list. And there are other treatments which we feel are better and should be tried first.
La tossina botulinica sicuramente aiuta, è una sostanza che paralizza, diciamo, i muscoli, ma dato nella giusta dose può riuscire a sopprimere, a ridurre i tremori. Anche un dosaggio più alto della levodopa lo può fare, e io nel mio gruppo, per esempio, proponiamo la terapia occupazionale che aiuta, se non a eliminare, comunque a gestire sicuramente meglio i tremori. Anche la DBS naturalmente può dare dei buoni risultati. Diciamo che noi usiamo la terapia, la tossina botulinica, però non è, diciamo, nei primi posti delle terapie che usiamo per i tremori.
Can I ask a question myself? Is Nicola still there? And I wonder if he agrees with my perspective that in our lifetime... You are still there?
Yes, here I am.
Can I ask you to give your opinion about whether you agree that in our lifetime we are going to see something that helps to slow down the progression, or am I being too over-optimistic?
Volevo tradurre questo, Nicola, se sei d'accordo, Nicola, sul fatto che pensi che ci sarà nell'arco della nostra vita un trattamento come ho descritto fino adesso.
Bas, I totally agree with you and share all your thoughts, and my congratulations to you from what you said and what you wrote. Actually, I was really happy of hearing from you, because in these 2 months, we did what you recommended to all of us. So one day I would like to tell you, together with Francesca, what we did in these 2 months, because you must believe us, we really did what you recommended, step by step. So we tried to do exactly what you said and in the way you recommended. So, but it's not now the case. Okay. And I totally agree with you. And as you know, it's something like about 15 years that we are working on these issues. with performing and sporting and all things that can help the soul of the people and not only the physics and the body. So I totally agree. And so I think we will see the effects of these behaviors in the future. So I am confident as you that perhaps we will see, let's say, less Parkinson in the future and less severe Parkinson in the future. If people are helped in this way and they understand the meaning of what you say and what we recommend every day, I'm sure this will help slowing down the progression, for instance, as a first result. And I would like to ask you a question, if I can, Bas.
Yes, please.
Posso, scusa, tradurre questo intanto, Nicola? Allora, intanto volevo dire che sono molto d'accordo con il dottor Bloem su tutto quello che ha detto e concordo assolutamente. Tra l'altro sono molto contento che abbia proprio parlato descritto, diciamo, delle cose che noi abbiamo applicato proprio in questi ultimi 2 mesi. Abbiamo fatto proprio esattamente quello che dice il dottor Bloem, proprio quel genere di attività, ma non ne parliamo adesso, avremo modo di parlarne, non è adesso il momento di parlarne. Quello che riguarda diciamo, la nostra esperienza in 15 anni, abbiamo utilizzato tante attività complementari e abbiamo visto che è importante nutrire l'anima e non solo il corpo, e riteniamo che vedremo sempre di più gli effetti di questo tipo di attività nel futuro, quindi meno Parkinson e meno grave.
Bas, I would like to ask you how, because I'm very fascinated about what you said, talking to government about paraquat and about all pesticides and all this matter. How do you imagine that we can do this campaign? Because this is a very difficult matter and issue. We know there is the matter about Greta, and she's doing basically a similar thing for all the world, not only for Parkinsonian, but also for our kids and for the future of this planet. So I'm very, because we would like to work on it, and we would like to support you, for instance, in this issue. So how can we do it according to you?
Sono molto affascinato da quello che hai detto rispetto al paraquat, a tutti, diciamo, i pesticidi, eccetera. E quindi l'idea che ci si possa rivolgere ai governi perché vengano eliminate queste sostanze. Oggi vediamo Greta Thunberg che ha fatto tantissimo, ma non solo per il Parkinson, ma in generale, quindi per tutto il pianeta, e voglio chiederti come possiamo sostenerti, come possiamo aiutarti in questa tua campagna, in questo tuo lavoro.
Sì, grazie. So in our book, we draw a parallel to AIDS, HIV. HIV was a deadly disease in the 80s, and patients with AIDS literally chained themselves to the front door of pharmaceutical companies, demanding better treatments. They were very active, proactive, and demanded better treatments. I think people with Parkinson's disease, and I'm sure you would agree, are, and I mean this very seriously, are the friendliest people on the planet, but maybe too friendly. And I think they should open their mouths. And if the millions of people with Parkinson's, based on the data that we present in the book, open their mouth every day, call out to governments, we must bundle forces, and together we have a strong voice. But I think people with Parkinson's have been way too passive, just leaning behind and waiting. AIDS is now a chronic treatable condition because the AIDS patients demanded better treatments. Pharma companies started to invest, but AIDS is a much smaller disease than Parkinson's. So open your mouth, buy the book, speak to your local representatives, speak to national governments, bundle forces. It's too short now, Nicola, to go into full detail, but I think we should open our mouths. There is a pandemic happening. We are causing the pandemic. It's an outrage, and we must do something about it.
Nel libro noi tracciamo un parallelo con l'AIDS, con l'AIDS, che era una malattia mortale negli anni '80. Beh, i pazienti si sono fatti avanti, hanno chiesto alle case farmaceutiche con forza che gli venissero dati delle terapie migliori. Io penso che le persone con il Parkinson siano persone molto gentili, molto amichevoli, ma devono farsi sentire, alzare la voce, perché tutti insieme la nostra voce ci può permettere di farci sentire. C'è una pandemia che sta avvenendo e noi possiamo tutti insieme fare come è successo con l'AIDS, ossia far sentire la nostra voce forte e non essere più passivi ma attivi nel modificare questa situazione.
Okay, I think in respect of time, we are almost there.
Can I ask a question on the activity? You have wrote a lot and you've spoken a lot about being active as a patient in the therapy with so what you describe as collaborative or participatory medicine. In this sense, do you believe that a joint effort of the whole community of both doctors and patients together can change this? Because I think we've realized here in Italy, as Dr. Modugno was saying, during these 2 months, that we can do a lot together. We can become aware that we have noticed that the doctors have said we've learned a lot from you patients. So it's something that we can do together. Do you believe this is a way of tackling the issue?
Absolutely, and I thank you for raising the issue. We must work together. You know, the time when the world of doctors and the world of patients were separate worlds, to my mind, is completely wrong. We are one team. And of course, as a patient, you are dependent. Your body is failing and the doctors have the knowledge. But the patient knows the priorities. The patient knows what's happening at home. So you both have unique knowledge, unique expertise that is very complementary. So if we work together as a team, only then can we fight this disease. And I can tell you, the one reason La Squadra Olandese was never world champion is because we had brilliant players, but not a squadra, not a team. Okay. And that's why Italians have beaten us all the time. So you're better at this than we are.
Right? Was always a possible team.
Volevo tradurre, sì, è molto importante rendersi conto che dottori e pazienti devono fare squadra. E, ognuno non è più il tempo di due mondi separati, siamo una squadra, i pazienti conoscono le priorità perché le vivono quotidianamente, i medici invece conoscono le terapie e quindi solo insieme possiamo migliorare. In effetti la squadra olandese forse avrebbe dovuto imparare da questo perché aveva grandi giocatori, grandi individualità, ma poco spirito di squadra.
Sì, sì. Azzurri, eh?
Bas.
Naranche.
Sorry, just one more thing for Bas. Just to tell you, Bas, that we are really proud, attaching to what you said, that during the 2 months in Italy, me and Francesca were every day talking to Andrea and another team of patients, collaborating together in creating what we mentioned to you. And they were our colleagues for 2 months and a half. So they were wonderful colleagues and we will work together again in the next future for this purpose.
Brilliant. Thank you. Congratulations, Nicola. You're doing wonderful work.
Volevo chiudere dicendo un'ultima cosa a Bas, che siamo veramente orgogliosi che proprio nello spirito che dici proprio della squadra, in questi ultimi 2 mesi abbiamo lavorato noi medici, io Francesca il team di Parkinson, tutti insieme, e ogni giorno abbiamo lavorato proprio a un progetto insieme e quindi siamo molto orgogliosi di seguire quello che ci stai proponendo.
Io ho delle domande che posso fare molto veloci e che può rispondere sì o no. Posso farle?
I think the time is almost over. Yeah, a little over time already.
Maybe we can propose another meeting.
Okay, as you wish.
I don't know, because the time is...
Yeah, time is almost over, and you know, to finish on a very positive note, I think Vic like to show us a little video we produced in the last couple of weeks. Actually, we are very proud. Our project One World, One Voice. We actually recorded a song with people all around the world, almost 20 countries, and hopefully this is something for the future where we all can get together, you know, to really support everybody in the fight and, you know, ending Parkinson disease. If Vic can play the videos, since I think that's a really neat way to finish our meeting today on a very, very positive note. And hopefully for the future, we can organize more meetings like this where we really can go out one world, one voice. If Vic can play the video.
Allora Vic, scusami, prima di dire volevo semplicemente tradurre il fatto che il progetto One World, One Voice ha visto 20 paesi lavorare al video che adesso vedremo e è un esempio molto positivo di come si può lavorare insieme.
Vic, can you play it? Yeah, good.
Don't worry about a thing, 'cause everything is gonna be alright. Don't worry about a thing, 'cause everything is gonna be alright. Woke up this morning, smiled with the rising sun. 3 little birds each by my doorstep, singing sweet song, a melody's pure and true, saying, this is my message to you. Don't worry about a thing, 'cause everything is gonna be alright. Sing, don't worry about a thing, 'cause everything is gonna be alright. One world, one heart, one mind, one love, I believe.
about a thing. Every little thing's gonna be all right.
Great. Good.
Brilliant.
Thank you so much. I think we are ending on a very positive message for everybody, and I hope we will see you again for the next series of speakers all around the world. Thank you so much.
And
If you
if I
make
may,
it, would be great.
and if I may, an applause for Andrea for translating so well.
Yeah, Andrea and Gillette, everybody. Great.
Thank you very much.
Ciao Bas.
See you soon. Bye.
Buonasera.
Thank you.
Bye.
Ciao, arrivederci.
Ciao.
Ciao, Bas. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye bye, y'all. Thanks.